Okay, well, we're on, and we're going to be starting our show in less than 10 seconds, so stand by.
Your show will go live in 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Broadcasting live, it's America's longest-running national radio talk show on computers, Computer America, hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. Look for Craig's weekly column in your favorite newspaper. This show is being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. Keep it here for technology news, computer products, guest interviews, and your phone calls. You're listening to Computer America.
Hello, and welcome into the Computer America Show. It's the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. Computer America is heard around the world and coast to coast. And I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I'm your co-host, Ben.
And welcome into a Tuesday edition of the Computer America Show. Got a great program planned for you tonight in hour two. We're going to have computer and technology news brought to you by who, Ben?
Slimware Utilities.
The official optimization software of Computer America. That's right. And in the first hour, we've had a slight change. We're still going to have Prosoft Engineering, but the CEO, for some reason, is not available. But we do have the company's marketing manager, and I understand that she's ready to go, and so we're going to waste as little time as possible. So let's get started. You know, when your hard drive dies and you don't have a backup, what do? Okay,
You cry.
Yeah, well, that's true. But that doesn't help getting your data back. Do you need to recover lost or deleted files? Absolutely. Do you have a crashed or corrupted hard drive? These are some of the things. Are you unable to access an external hard drive, flash media, or camera card? These are hard questions to face, but when you have to, know that you can get stuff back with Data Rescue. Actually, Data Rescue 4 is the #1 rated hard drive recovery software used by home users, forensic recovery teams, and IT groups worldwide. Data Rescue 4 is easy-to-use hard drive and file recovery software that works, even when other computer recovery software has failed. Now, joining us tonight is Jennifer Bell. Jen is the marketing manager for Prosoft Engineering. They are the makers of Data Rescue 4. Jen, welcome into Computer America. How are you?
I'm great. Thanks for having me.
Yes, and thanks for covering. You know.
Yeah, happy to do so.
Yeah, exactly. So thanks so much for that. And you know, we want to get the word out about Prosoft. I understand you're pressed for time, but we're going to try to make this go as smoothly and as quickly as possible while still disseminating the information about Prosoft Engineering to our listeners. Why don't you just give us a quick overview? What does Prosoft do?
Prosoft has been around since 1985. Back in the early days, we used to do custom drivers for printers, cameras, pretty much everything you needed a custom driver to work with your computer.
Mm-hmm.
Then around 2002, we got into the manufacturing our own software line.
Mm-hmm.
And we do data recovery software and a bunch of different utilities for the Mac and PC.
Okay.
We actually started doing drive setup for Apple years ago. So we've been in the business for a long time. Since 2002, we've been our primary product has been data recovery software.
Okay. Now you actually make this software itself. I know there are companies out there that actually have clean rooms, and you send the hard drive to them, and you can spend a fortune on doing it. Does Prosoft do that as well, or do you strictly make the software recovery products?
Well, we actually started out just doing the software. A lot of cases, it is just a glitch with. It's not a physical issue. It's just something logical with the software of the computer.
Yeah.
But then in 2009, we decided to get involved, and we have a Class 100 clean room and a data recovery service division as well.
All right.
For those drives that are physically damaged. So we cover all sectors, and it's helped us develop our software better, to have that clean room and be able to customize our software for every kind of data recovery scenario.
Of course, that can get to be very, very expensive, and certainly, Ben, why don't you go ahead and talk to Jennifer? I have to get this.
Sure. Yeah. So Now, when you say custom drivers, and I know we might be stepping back here for just a second, but I mean, custom drivers. I know that drivers are what kind of bridge the gap between the user and the hardware. It's the software that tells it, how to interact with it. Why would someone need a custom driver? By the way, I thought those were provided by whoever made the hardware.
Well, we used to be a custom engineering company. This is, now you don't need the drivers. They've, changed things. But back in, the early 90s, late 90s, all those different companies that did hardware, you would need the driver so the hardware could talk to the computer. And we did do custom work for, Adaptec, iOmega, Motorola, pretty much every high-tech company out there that had hardware, we were working with them to do custom drivers. But then, that kind of changed as time went on, and they didn't any longer need the customized drivers. So that's how we got into developing our own software lines.
All right. So now Data Rescue 4. Obviously, the number 4 means this is the 4th iteration. Is this? I know you make other products, but Data Rescue 4 is sort of like the flagship product for Prosoft Engineering.
Correct. It's we've been selling it since 2002. It's just been a lifesaver. It's probably the best recovery software available for Mac. We have so many customers that we hear from that have tried other things, and ours was the software that was able to get everything back. Apple has a site-wide license of it. We sell it around the world directly from our website, and we'll see downloads in the 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 in the morning, from Christmas Eve. It's been a really great product for us. Yeah. And we continue to evolve it and adapt it with all the OSs that have came out.
Yeah, and of course that's critical too, because we're talking about the Mac side. The Mac side of the business. Apple continues to come out with newer operating systems. They have Leopard, Snow Leopard, Mavericks, and of course now Yosemite is the latest iteration of their operating. Does the operating system really make those much changes in the way the data is being stored to hard drive? Can Data Rescue 4 work regardless of the operating system, or is it critical? Is the operating system, the version of the operating system, critical to its operation?
No, I mean it makes a few challenges and changes, and Apple kind of sandboxes and makes things difficult for developers. They used to be really good at supporting us, but now they've kind of isolated us and we've kind of had to do workarounds. But the hard drive still works in the same manner. It's just
right.
Adapt to making a more robust utility to get the data off.
And that's the purpose of Data Rescue 4. The Data Rescue 4 doesn't really necessarily restore your hard drive. What it does, it allows you to get the files, the actual data. In other words, you can always get your applications back because the applications, you probably downloaded them anyway. It's the hard work that you created using those applications that is the most important thing, or photograph.
Right.
Yeah, or for the photographs.
Your photographs, all your videos,
sure,
documents.
Sure.
And we really stress to people, you don't want to try and fix the hard drive. You don't want to try and do any work and then find out that, you've damaged the data further and now that you absolutely cannot recover it.
Right.
So Data Rescue's primary feature has always been to just, to scan and recover the data to a secondary location, and then what you do with that hard drive from there is up to you. But you want to get that data saved somewhere else.
So what is the actual procedure? In other words, when I hook up Data Rescue 4 to my computer, I run it. Do I have to have another hard drive onto which it's going to take the files that it recovers from the damaged drive and moves them over to the new drive? I mean, how does that work? What do you do?
So the new feature in Data Rescue 4, we're one of the first Mac recovery software to we ship on a bootable USB to flash drive.
Yes.
So you no longer have to have that boot DVD to boot from, because a lot of the Macs no longer have the boot drive.
Yeah, I'm actually holding one of them here. It says, "In case of computer emergency, use this," and it's got Data Rescue on a little flash memory drive, and it's red, and it looks very cool. And I have it right here next to my desk. So basically, what I plug that in? Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Just plug it in, and it already has its own operating system on that called Bootwell, and it creates a secondary boot up drive. So if your main internal boot drive isn't working, you can't mount the hard drive,
Mm-hmm.
you can go ahead and use that USB drive and boot right from there.
Okay.
And then it'll start scanning your hard drive, and then you just need a secondary drive to save your data to.
And you hook that secondary drive up either using FireWire or any of the
USB, yeah.
any of the connection methods. And will it find
Correct.
this? And it will find that connected drive and then start copying information to it. What if, let's say,
the interface.
What
Oh, go ahead.
what if, let's say, it's not my internal hard drive, but let's say it's one of my data drives, an external drive, and that one won't work. I can still plug the flash memory in, and then I'll tell it which drive I need to recover from, and then do it that way.
Right. The interface is very intuitive. If you're just recovering from another drive, you're just running the actual application,
right,
selecting the drive, deciding if you want to do a deleted file scan, or you're trying to recover the entire drive. And it walks you through and shows you a preview of all the files. You can pick and choose which ones you want to recover, or you can recover the entire hard drive.
Yeah. Okay. So let me ask you this question: if I would ask you what sets your product, Data Rescue 4, apart from, let's say, your competitors, how would you answer that?
There's a lot of, we've seen the market really fill up with a lot of competitors out there.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go to the websites and you try to find out really who's behind the software, if you don't want to purchase the software and you just have questions to call, it's hard to find numbers. A lot of stuff supported just, via email. You don't even know where the company's based. We've been around since '85. We're headquartered in Northern California. We offer free phone or email support. We really stand behind our products. We offer free demos of all our products. You can go ahead and try them before you buy them.
So when you have a free trial, I was going to ask you if you have free trial versions, and so since we're touching on that, and you have what does the free trial version allow me to do? I mean, does it says, okay, well, yes, your drive is damaged, but now you have to pay, Ms. Or does it? How far does it take me?
So our free trials are the full product. So you go ahead and you can download the free application of Data Rescue.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing it's limited on is it'll let you scan your entire drive. You can save the scan. It's just limited on the actual recovery. So if you see all your files you want to recover, you can go ahead and recover one with the demo version, and then go ahead and purchase the software and just plug the serial number in and continue where you left off.
Oh, all right. So you're going to see if it works, and then if it works, and it says, oh, there's all my data, and it allows me to recover one, and say, yep, there it is. If I want to continue the rest of the process, I can just I can purchase it right then and there online, and then continue on and get the rest of the files that way.
Exactly.
That's very nice. That's very nice. So let's talk about Data Rescue 4. I believe is your newest release. That's correct.
Correct.
Okay. So what have you improved? Let's say over Data Rescue 3. What have you added to the new Data Rescue 4?
Well, the big feature is that boot well,
which,
if your main hard drive, what I had explained, that, it allows a secondary startup drive. This is all done behind the scenes. In the past, you have to have another hard drive to boot from.
Mm-hmm.
So this makes it just, if you buy the USB drive, it's kind of a, one-stop, easy recovery situation. And you can actually use your own USB drive, but we hand test and hand load the software on each individual USB drive.
Wow.
We went through a very thorough process on trying to find the USB drive that's going to work the best with our software.
Wow.
There's a lot of USB drives out there that you can buy them for $3-4.
Yes, it's
you get them free with things. Yeah, it's just kind of we were not aware of how drastically different some of them can be. So we went through a pretty rigorous testing to find the drive that works the fastest with Data Rescue. And, we charge $15 for that drive, but it's basically just to barely cover our costs.
No, and
kind of give you just the easiest recovery situation.
Now, let's say I have a crash, and I take the Data Rescue a USB drive that you get, and I can plug it into any USB port. There's a USB port in the keyboard, or there's one in the Mac. I mean, I can plug it anywhere. Or do I have to?
Right.
Or do I have to plug it directly into the Mac?
Oh, you wouldn't want to plug it into the keyboard. You want to plug it in directly to the Mac. It's USB 3.0. Right. And then you go ahead and it'll give you all the prompts to walk you right through the recovery from there.
But even though it's USB 3.0, if I have a Mac with a USB 2.0, will it work with USB 2.0 as well?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Yep,
right.
definitely.
So I plug it in, and then I turn the computer on. Do I have to hold down like the letter C or something to start it up? Or?
Yeah, there's instructions. You will have to, you want to boot from that USB drive.
Okay.
All
right. And then does it ask me for a serial? When does it ask me for the serial number, or is the drive that I get from Prosoft Engineering already have that on it?
No, it will. It comes in a little clamshell kind of thing. You open it up. It's got an insert with the steps on exactly how to recover. How to boot from the USB drive. And then at the bottom of the steps is a serial number that you'll just plug in, and you can go ahead and register your software, so that way if you ever lose your serial number or anything, you can always contact our support and they can get it for you.
Excellent.
And then the rest of the process is really very intuitive, very easy to understand.
All right. So it sounds that you're trying to make it idiot-proof, and it sounds to me like you're doing a...
Yeah, that's why yeah, definitely. That's why we highly recommend this USB drive. And then the other thing we offer is this is something new that we've offered with Data Rescue 4, and it kind of coincides with the Data Rescue Center, is we offer a risk-free guarantee. So if you buy Data Rescue and you find, it's beyond the scope of recovery software and it's something physically damaged with your drive, instead of being out the money you spent on Data Rescue, you can get a credit for $200 towards our recovery services. In essence, you wouldn't even be paying for Data Rescue, and you have a $100 credit towards the recovery service.
Well, that's
and our pricing, so kind of a no risk guarantee. And a lot of times, people get to this point and they contact us and they say that it's beyond the scope of software. Who do you recommend for a recovery service? And it's kind of nice to be able to know, try Data Rescue, and if not, move on to the Data Rescue Center.
And let's talk a little bit about that process. So let's say, for example, Data Rescue 4, the hard drive is totally toast. You can't. It's not spinning or whatever the reason might be, and you've determined that the drive has to be sent back for recovery. What is the process? What is Prosoft Engineering? What do I do as a consumer?
You just contact the Data Rescue Center. They'll open up a case. If a case number, so somebody kind of get the basics of what's going on with the drive, and either you can hand package up the drive and ship it to us, or we have what's called a red box program, which is the anti-static, the bag, the foam, card to fill out, all the information that we'll need that you can put the drive in and ship it back to us at no charge. And then we provide a free estimate once we get the drive in our hands. We take pictures of everything we receive. We have a very secure, state-of-the-art facility. All the drives, when they're not being worked on, are kept in a Class 2 vault. We have 24 above-grade cameras. Employees go through background checks. And then the other thing that we're really known for is we compete with companies like Drive Savers, and we will always, always beat them in price. So we're very affordable when it comes to data recovery.
Yes, you mentioned Drive Savers. That's another one of the better, well-known data recovery services. Typically, what can a person expect to pay to get their data back if they have to?
Recoveries range from about $400 to $1,000. Data recovery is a lot like the car repair industry. There's a lot of very shady companies out there. I mean, some that it could be something very minor, like a loose power cord, or they were using the wrong USB cable, and a lot of data recovery companies will just take advantage of that and charge people $500 for something that really was kind of didn't even really need data recovery service. Somebody just kind of help them out with their situation, but we are different than all those. We offer very reputable service and great pricing compared to a lot of the competitors. I mean, data recovery is not cheap. I mean, there's a lot of these clean rooms. We have a clean room that was close to $1 million to set up.
Wow.
And it's basically like doing surgery on the drives. I mean, it's very labor intensive and everything. So, I mean, what they have to do is get these drives back up and spinning so they can produce data to pull the data off.
No,
and each case is different. So
sure. I mean, if you have to physically remove the platter into another thing, or as you say, could be simple as maybe just as long as the drive spins, but there's some sort of a head crash on the drive and it can't boot up. There are so many things that can go wrong. As you say, with the car is a perfect example of that. It can be one of a million things. So you can, but basically you expect to pay anywhere between $400 and $1,000 to get the data back, and then I guess you have to ask yourself, how important is that data? Is it worth $1,000 to me to get it back, or $400? Obviously, the real thing is to make backups, so you never put in this position in the first place. That's to me would be, yeah, that's something that you want to do. But of course, if you ignore that and then you decide to and you find yourself in this position, you certainly you have some options open to you with Data Rescue 4.
Maybe you should have kept your launch codes on another hard drive as well.
Yeah, no launch codes. Yes, exactly. What about technical support, Jen? Do you offer technical support?
Yes, yeah, for free pre and post technical support via phone or email, and it's right in our U.S.-based office. We get a lot of insight when we receive the calls and stuff. We find out, what customers are having problems with, what's not very clear on our website, and it helps us really kind of, develop our site so it's better, develop our products so they're more user-friendly.
Well,
and we're one of the few that still offer the free support over the phone like that.
Now, when I use Data Rescue 4, does it give me some codes or something, and I might not understand, and so I might have to call in to say, okay, I'm getting to such and such a code. What is it I need to do, or does Data Rescue 4 just do a lot of hand-holding with me? I mean,
it's very, walks you step by step. It's pretty easy to use. I mean, there are a few cases that, people might run into some issues. It does have a feature called File IQ that lets you, if you're doing some kind of proprietary file type, it will learn the file types to recover from there. So, I mean, I think there are some cases where, they do need to talk to support to help, make things a little bit more. Maybe there's an issue that's something that we have to work on, or support can kind of walk them through that a little bit better. But for the most part, any everyday user that's going to use it will be able to, use it very easily.
Okay. Now, also
do the recovery themselves.
Right. Now, on the Data Rescue 4 packaging, I have it here right in my hand. I'm holding it. It says right in the package that system requirements 10.7.5 or newer, and I believe that was that Lion. I think it wasn't Mountain Lion. It was like Lion. I think it was, or 7.5. It might have been something. So in other words, if I have something that's earlier than 10.7.5, then what do I do?
So we still sell Data Rescue 3 for the older PowerPC, and the Intel Max running 10.4.11 to 10.6.8.
Okay, so you do have it covered. So obviously, if someone's going to order Data Rescue 4, they need to let you know what OS version they're using, because obviously you don't want to get this and then find. Now, do they pick the Data Rescue emergency? Do they pick that up in a store, or do they buy that from you directly? How do people get this?
So we sell it online from our online store directly for $99 for the electronic download. You can create your own bootwell drive on your own USB keychain drive.
Oh.
We recommend using ours if you want just the easiest, the route that's been tested, not have to monkey with finding a drive that it works fast with.
Mm-hmm.
The drive is $15 extra. We also sell through OWC sells it. It's on Amazon. So if you're a Prime member, that's a great place to buy it.
Sure. Otherworld Computing, excellent company,
right?
And so they carry it as well, and you can get it at the OWC website. That's it. That is, and it's $99. Did you say?
Yes, the download's $99. If the red drive,
if
you want that option, that's an additional $15. So it's $114 if you want the
right. Got it.
The total recovery solution is what
if
we
you
call
want
it.
that shipped to you, okay. So tell me a little bit. I know you have to go, so we got about 3 minutes here. So let's what can we talk a little bit what the future product plans are for you and Prosoft Engineering?
Sure. Yeah, definitely. We've got a couple of things in the works. We have Drive Genius is our other very popular disk utility. We're looking to release Drive Genius 4 probably in about 2 weeks. And that's one that just kind of helps you, maintain your hard drive, clean extra duplicate files, monitor any hard drive issues with Drive Pulse, defrag your hard drive, change icons of your hard drive, do any kind of directory repair. It's got about 15 different tools within the program. But this is the, just like Data Rescue, this is the fourth version of that.
Okay, and when is all that going to go into? I mean, these are all future product plans. Yeah.
Yeah, that product will probably be released in about 2 weeks. We're just kind of finalizing up and some final testing and everything. And then we also have a couple other utilities, a backup. We currently sell a backup utility. We're looking at probably getting into something that's more for a network kind of backup tool, as well as some other hard drive wiping, kind of quick wiping tool where if you're just going to donate your computer, you want to wipe it completely clean.
Sure.
Something like that that's just really easy to use.
Now, let me just clarify. Data Rescue 4 is obviously for the Mac, but for the Windows PCs, you have Data Rescue PC3, I believe it is. That's for Windows-based computers?
Correct.
Okay.
Right.
And same thing basically applies. Now, do you have the Data Rescue stick for the Windows, or that's coming down the pike for that?
Yeah, eventually we will be moving pretty much all our software over to the USB stick. It's kind of the trend. They've got away from the drive. But right now we're still selling the actual CD with Data Rescue PC. All
right. And then you have a couple of other little products. I just want to give them a quick mention at Prosoft.
Sure.
You have like a Sound Bunny for the Mac. That's kind of cute.
Yeah, it's different. It's basically so, sometimes you're listening to music and all of a sudden you get the big ping from an email coming in. It lets you independently control the volume of different apps within your Mac.
That's nice.
So you can turn the sound of your email down while you're listening to music. Just a quick, the $10 product is really.
Yeah, but it makes a lot of sense. It makes a lot of sense. I mean, you make a good point. And like for example, we're talking about something, and then here's an example. Let's say I take I throw something away, and you hear that, and then I try to erase the trash.
Yeah.
You say now with Sound Bunny, I can make that. I can make the Finder very, very quiet while I'm still using the other sound from the other applications. Makes a lot of sense, because that is not part of the operating system. That's something in addition to. And again, that's a cute little program. And then you.
And then here is another one this is for the Mac or the PC. This is another just fun, easy app. Improves the sound quality of your existing laptop sound, your speakers that you have. Gives you kind of 3D dimensional sound. You can customize it based on what your listening preferences are.
Is that like Here that product's called Here? HEAR?
Yeah, that's Here.
Yeah.
Yep, and there's a demo. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and it's kind of fun just to playing through the different sound settings, whether you're listening to just talk radio or you're listening to chill out lounge music. It's got a graphic equalizer and everything.
Yeah.
There's a lot of fun stuff you can do with that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, again, listen, Jen, I want to thank you. I know that you had to do a little juggling here to be on the show with us tonight, and hopefully it wasn't too difficult for you. Again, for those of you listening to the show, if you want to see more information about Prosoft Engineering, just go to our show notes page at computeramerica.com. It's right there in the middle of the screen. It says show notes. You'll see today's show, November the 25th. And you'll see Hour 1 Prosoft Engineering. And although it says the President and CEO, Greg Brewer, was going to be here tonight, Jennifer did a wonderful job covering for him. And you can see everything there at the Prosoft Engineering website. And again, remember, it's not if your hard drive will fail, it's when your hard drive will fail. I guarantee you, sooner or later, it's going to happen. So why not be prepared for that? Obviously, make backups, so you won't be in that position. But if you don't make a backup, or if you say, oh well, it's too difficult, or I don't understand it, whatever the reason you might say or the objection, if your hard drive does fail, know that Data Rescue 4 from Prosoft Engineering is available, and all is not lost. I mean, it may cost you a bit, but at least you can get get your data back. Jen, I want to thank you so much for being with us here on the show tonight.
Thanks, Craig. Really appreciate it.
All right, and take care. Have a good evening, and we'll speak with you again.
Thanks.
Take care. Bye-bye.
All right.
All
Sounds
right.
good. You too. Bye-bye.
All right. All right. Coming up in the next half hour, we're going to have computer and technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. Also, a new news tips bulletin review from Marty Winston. That's all coming up. Stay with us. You're listening to Computer America.
Hey everyone, have you heard about the No Hair Removal device that's sweeping the globe? If you want to go weeks without shaving and get smooth, professional quality results, here's our favorite host, Cheryl, for No Hair Removal.
Thanks. Hey gals, I love talking about my No. It's this cute little hair removal system that you can take with you and use almost anywhere at home or on the road. No more expensive in-office treatments, painful waxing, and no more wasting your valuable time. Got unwanted facial hair? No has patented thermocon technology that works on all hair and skin colors, so it's perfect for using on all body parts. And now you can take advantage of this incredible risk-free trial. Get the No, the facial kit, a travel case, and a $100 discount shopping card, and you don't risk a penny to try it. Try the incredible No hair completely risk-free. Call 1-800-953-5415. That's 800-953-5415. 800-953-5415.
Hi, this is Craig Crossman, host of the Computer America Show. You have important meetings to schedule. Your company's getting ready for its IPO, and you're in charge of the PTA fundraiser this month. So how do you coordinate everyone to be available at the same time? Are you still using emails, phone calls, even text messages to schedule meetings with a group of people? How's that working out for you? Not so great, huh? It's a fact that every day, millions of people suffer from scheduling headaches. Well, with Doodle, scheduling meetings with a group of people is quick and easy. With Doodle, you can easily propose available times to each member. Each one checks off the times that they are available, and then you simply pick the time that works best for the group, all in an easy-to-read display that integrates with your existing calendar. Nothing could be more simple. Give Doodle a try for free, and like millions of Doodle users, you'll truly see how easy it is to find the perfect date and time for all your meetings. That's www.doodle.com.
Ten Hut. This is Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin review for Computer America. This time, the SureFlap microchip pet door. How great would a robot doggy doorman be so you'd never have to interrupt your work to let your pet in or out? We chased down SureFlap in the UK and found a solution even cooler than that. So cool that we had chips implanted in both the dog and the cat. The basics of the SureFlap aren't that different from the aboriginal swinging mud flap design. Well, we're lying. They're way cooler. A dual magnetic latch holds the hard door closed. Look up the video of raccoons being unable to enter. Poor C-cells keep it running for 6 months. Once you get it to recognize your pets, either through a microchip implant or an RFID collar tag, they're the only animals who can open it. The clock display up top isn't frivolous. You can set curfews. They're a good way, for example, to automatically keep your pets indoors at night. They're easy to install in almost any window or wall, but be selective and port them to a controlled yard area. Bottom line, a SureFlap microchip pet door lets both you and your pets do what you need to do with no ado. This is Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America Show. It is 34 minutes past the hour, and thank you, Marty Winston, for that 10 hut indeed. And we just had Jen on from data recovery software, Prosoft.
Yeah, Jennifer Bell. She's marketing manager, was covering for the CEO of the company who evidently was not feeling well tonight, and we thank her again for that. I was listening to that dog door. We have here at the Crossman household, we have our own little robotic door for our dogs, little dogs, and it works quite well. But we don't have to put a microchip in them. I don't know if I want to. Would you want to put a chip in your dog?
Well, I mean, your dogs are chipped. My dogs are chipped.
Yeah, but it's a different chip. I don't think it uses that
Well, why
that.
would you just put in 2 chips?
No, I don't want to do. I don't want to do that. I mean, the point is,
I think it's a security measure.
yeah, ours. Yeah, ours has a. Well, if someone could get into that little dog door, better power to
Well,
them.
I mean, like, what if it was a dog door for one of my dogs?
Yeah, well then you could get in. That's true. But then the motion detectors would and the alarm system in the home would take over there. But the thing is, what our dog door does is that I put on their dog collar a little magnet, and the magnet, anything with magnetism will trigger the door, and it opens and it lets them in, and so it's not quite as secure, I guess, as the but if a raccoon or something comes in, he won't be able to get in. The raccoons won't get in, or any other vermin will not be able to get in. Only if the dog is wearing the little magnet sensor, you can get one of those dot magnets, put it on.
See, but as soon as you say the word magnet sensor, everyone knows, hey, we can always go over to Craig's house with a magnet and we can open that up.
Yeah, but that won't work because if it opens it, first of all, no human being is fit into it. It's too small. And second of all, we have our alarm system, motion detectors and
It's not an only solution. There are other solutions, but it's a solution.
Yeah, and he has the NFC, I think they have on that too, on that dog door too. So you can put a near field communications. That means the dog would have to have his own smartphone with NFC.
I guess.
To get it.
It could be cheaper just to get the chip.
Yeah. Well, I wonder if it uses the existing chip that they use to when they to identify the dog.
That's not how technology works.
What? So one thing works and they can't make it work with something else that they already have?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, Craig, you have an iPhone.
Yeah, it would be cool though.
Why don't we make it? Why don't we make your phone into a car? That'll work, right?
No, why don't they have it so it scans the chip what they already have and compares the number that's on the chip, and if it matches, because you program it at the door, it'll only open with animals with that chip and that number on it. So that would be the. I guess it could just get. You can go on with it.
I think there are a lot of things you could do, but what you probably should do is just go check out the dog door if you're looking for a dog door.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's a cute dog door. It does the job. Anyway, again, you listen to the Computer America Show. If you, we're going to be doing news in a moment, but if you want to get in touch with us, I guess now's a good time to give out the phone numbers. It's 347-884-8881. 347-884-8881. We'll get you on and get you through. We also have an email. We have a special email inbox set up when we're live and on the air. It's live, L-I-V-E, at computeramerica.com. You can also join us in our live interactive IRC chat room. Right there in the home page, you'll see there's a button right in the middle of the screen. Or it's under the Interact pull-down menu, too. You just click that, and you'll see on the left-hand side the Connect to the Freenode IRC, and then it'll ask you for a nickname. That's the name you'll be known by when you go in there. It'll ask for a reCAPTCHA, which is a number or a couple of words. That just verifies that you're a live human being. Click the Connect button, and you're in. Also, if you want to format the chat room to a more pleasing manner, we also provide some IRC clients there on our free software page. Just click the button, and depending on the operating system you're using and the version of the browser you're using, you can find one that will just format it, put the chat room in its own window. It just makes it look nicer, but it's completely optional. Then the other thing you can do is on that same page is our live streaming video, where you can not only listen to the Computer America Show, you can actually watch us. All right, so you can actually watch. You can see myself, you can see Ben, you can see the guests if they make it to the show. All of that is there on ComputerAmerica.com. So there's different ways that you can interact with us here on the program. But the easiest way, of course, just call us at 347-884-8881. Our call screener is just standing by, waiting to speak to you and get you on the program.
Sure he is.
Yes, he is. So that said, I think we'll just go into our news. Unless there's anything else you want to mention, we'll just do news. Is there anything else that you want to talk about?
Nope. I think we should jump right into it.
All right, let's do it. Tonight's Computer and Technology News is brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. You can visit them at slimwareutilities.com to clean, speed up, and optimize your Windows system for free. That's right, for free. Everything there is completely free. All the utilities, everything that you need to do exactly what I said is there, and it's completely free. They're not limited in any way. It's not the freemium model where you upgrade later on or pay later on to use it. They're not crippled. They are the complete package. Download them all. Use them. You'll be very happy you did, and you'll thank us for it. SlimwareUtilities.com. And Ben, why don't you lead off with the opening story?
All right, you want me to lead? Let's lead. All right, well, Google Fiber. People may have heard of them. They do things with internets.
Yes.
And our good friend Grayson Hamilton is in Texas, and he is in the local area to be getting Google Fiber.
Lucky guy. Lucky guy.
Lucky guy indeed. And so, with that being said, Google Fiber has announced their pricing plan for Austin.
Ah!
Yeah, so Austin, Texas is one of the areas that Google is currently developing its fiber network. While the company is still constructing the network, Google has revealed its residential pricing plans for fiber. So the deal, which is almost the same as in Kansas City, which is, Kansas City, Kansas and Kansas City, Missouri, will require residents to pay $300 construction fee that will be waived if they sign a one-year commitment to Google Fiber.
Wow, that's nice.
After that, the local users will have to pay $70 per month, which will give them up to 1 gigabit per second upload and download speeds.
Wow.
It's not just download, that's also upload.
That's amazing. I have 100 megabits, but my upload speed is download
6 or something.
6,
or
yeah,
10.
6. It's back there. So that is incredible. 1,000 up and 1,000 down. That is a
Yep.
and $70. Wow.
Yep. And it comes with a 1 terabyte of Google Cloud storage, so you can keep any kind of music or movies you have, on your computer. You can just upload them to the cloud for free. Those who wish to have the full fiber experience can shell out $130 a month, which gives them the same perks of the lower pricing plan, but also includes over 150 channels and the ability to record up to 8 shows at the same time.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, 8's 3 more than, I think, like the next closest one is like Dish with like 5, I think.
Wow.
So Google is also offering a free option to Austin residents as well. All they have to do is pay the $300 construction fee in one payment, or $25 per month for 12 months, which works out to $300 on the dot. So you can spread it out, and they will have access to free 5 megabits download and 1 megabit upload speed for no additional fee.
That's almost like a DSL, really.
Yep, and yeah, DSL and even dial-up at this point is just as fast. But I mean, 5 megabits down, 1 megabits up. If you just pay the construction fee, if anything, you're just getting into the deal of, if you ever want to in the future hook up to Google Fiber, because I mean, let's just say you pony up the $300 and you still have one of your other cable providers. Imagine that goes out one day. There's an outage in your area, so and so, blah blah blah. Pops up Google Fiber, and that's all. And that's up and running, and you have access to it for free.
Mm.
It runs simultaneously with what you're already running, and you can hop into it whenever you want if you pay the construction fee. So aside from Austin residents gaining access to Google Fiber, Google also intends to connect public institutions such as hospitals, schools, and community centers to its network at no cost. So that's it.
That's really slick. Yeah.
Yep.
And this all happens when? It all happens now.
As soon as they release the pricing plan, that means that they're looking for people. They're looking for people to say, hey, come on over to my house. I have my $300 ready, or my $70 a month ready. Come at me.
When do you think they're coming to West Palm Beach, Florida, or Or to
We
know.
have a story actually coming up about their next venture because Google is a search engine company. Like
Yeah.
they're an ad company primarily. They started out as a search engine company. They serve you ads. Google Fiber is a pet project. Google Fiber is equal to Google Glass. It's equal to Google Earth, Google Maps, any of that kind of thing. It's a pet project of Google. They're not an ISP, nor are they trying to be an ISP.
Hmm.
They just wanted to show everyone that, hey, if Google can do it, who's not an internet service provider, then why can't Comcast? Why can't Verizon? Why can't AT&T be the one to provide you with this service? If we can, why can't they?
Well, what's going to eventually happen is as they continue to move into cities where those other services exist, something's going to
See,
happen.
I think Google would be perfectly happy if tomorrow all the major ISPs came out and said, "Hey, we've gotten the message. We're going to start spreading our 1 gigabit per second network to everyone."
Mhm.
And Google would say, "Perfect, job done. We're done here. More people are getting faster internet, so we can serve up more ads, and they will use more of our products. That is just what we wanted." But that's not going to happen. So Google is slowly going market by market. And the ironic thing is,
Mhm.
everywhere Google Fiber pops up, guess what? The local competition magically gets the technology to compete with them. They also start offering gigabit internet connection at a much lower price. Now, they're not matching Google Fiber, they're still more expensive, but somehow the magic of Google Fiber rubs off on them and they can all of a sudden provide 1 gigabit per second, where before in areas like this they were providing 30 megabit per second, 15 megabit per second, and then bam,
I'm
1
trying.
gig.
I'm trying to visualize what a 1 gigabit up and 1 gigabit down, the experience must be like. Um, I mean, it would be no lag, right? I mean, what would it be like?
I mean, it would get to a point where hopefully, especially with today's technology, the bottleneck isn't your internet connection. It would have to be your computer, it would be your hard drive, it would be something else. But imagine a world where if you wanted like if you wanted to stream something, it would just pop up. That's it. You go to a website, it pops up, and you start watching. That's it. If you wanted to download something, you go to iTunes, and it's a 300 megabit download. It just pops up on your computer. There's no waiting. There may be like a half a second wait, but it just pops up. Like the internet would no longer be a bottleneck in your internet experience.
We would have different bottlenecks. In other words, the processor wasn't fast
Your
enough.
processor, your hard drive, just there'd be other things that would limit it. It's just like right now, if you had a 12 megabit connection,
Mhm.
you can really tell when you try to download, something that's 3.7 gigs. It's going to take you, 10, 11, 12 minutes,
Mhm.
depending on the connection with the server. And with Google Fiber, I mean, I take that back. A lot of servers that dish out content, like I know iTunes,
Mhm.
they actually cap download rates
Yes, they do, and I've seen.
at 6, I think,
Yeah,
right?
I've seen that. Yeah, I have 100 megabits per second. And I'll go to iTunes and I want to download something. It's not downloading at 100 megabits. It's not at all.
Yeah.
It's still doing the same thing. They have slowed it down. I mean, it'd be wonderful because with 100 megabits, I want to any song or anything I would get, it would or any updates, it would be almost instantaneous. The apps, but it's not. It's still slow. Now you know where I do see an increase in speed if I go to the App Store, and I'll purchase an app. That is faster. That is noticeably faster because first of all, those files are bigger. There might be a 40 or 50 megabyte file. Okay, and I will see that blaze across the internet much faster than an app that might be only be 5, 10 megabytes, but it's still going. I can see go. And I know I have 100 megabits per second. So it depends on I guess it depends what you're doing and what you're downloading. But the iTunes is definitely throttled back for some reason.
But I mean, like, if you were, let's pretend you're the ultimate power user. You're watching YouTube, you're watching YouTube, you're watching a streamer, you're watching Netflix, and you are downloading something from iTunes, and you're downloading a movie from illegal sources as well, and you're you're going hog wild. You wouldn't see any slowdown in any of those. Admittedly, like most of those would probably be capped at 5-6 megabits because their servers can't handle that kind of speed. But you wouldn't have any slowdown. Like, and then all of a sudden you wanted to open up a new web page, it wouldn't be slow. It would just pop up.
Yeah. Although I have seen some places that they will feed you as fast as you can take it.
Yeah.
But there are some sites that will do that.
Some will.
I think like Dropbox or a couple of them where you're downloading a large file and they're designed for that. They'll feed it to you, and I know because I've downloaded a 200 megabyte file, and it's just a matter of moments, and it goes poof poof, and those files are far bigger than the ones I download to update my iPhone, but they're almost instantaneous, and yet they're huge. So definitely, some of the services are capped, but when you go to one that isn't, it's just a joy to watch it. I mean, you see it. That little thermometer bar goes from the left to right, bam, and it's done. Or you're downloading something, using one of your browsers, and you'll just see something blaze across. You'll download a large file, but it only takes moments.
Like I think companies like iTunes, where they have like 100 million people using it every day. Like if they allowed everyone to go as fast as they could, you would have 100 million people going at hypothetically 20 to 100 to 1,000 megabits per second. Their servers would crash because that's asking for too much information. So they throttle it so everyone gets a moderate speed.
Or what they should do is maybe they do this. Maybe they should look at what the load is at that particular moment. If someone wants to download a 100 megabyte file or whatever it might be, but at the time, there are not as many people on iTunes, and they could see, and they said, well, we can deliver that at this.
Correct.
Yeah, they can do that.
That's called systems analytics.
Yeah.
Smarter people than you and I.
Yeah.
Do that for a living.
Yeah.
To manage the stream of data that is this world.
Yeah. And your point is?
They've thought about it. This idea that you're coming up with.
Yeah.
Was pitched back in 1998 in a boardroom with cigar smoke.
And you were there.
I'm just saying, you're not breaking new ground here.
No, but I'm saying, so then if they know it, then why are they doing it or are they not doing it?
When I say smarter people than you and I, it's if they aren't doing it or if they are doing it, then they're doing it for a good reason.
Yeah. I think
it's probably not to feed their evil genius plan.
And what is their evil genius plan?
I don't know. Probably involves a cat, but whatever. All right. So yeah, that was that one. Google. If you're anywhere in Austin, go ahead. You have the Computer America seal of approval. Please pay up your $300 in your construction fee, or waive it and sign up for a year. Everyone has rave reviews for Google Fiber, and it sounds awesome, and we are jealous.
Yes, we're very jealous. I mean, 1,000 up and 1,000 down. But as great as that sounds, we did some stories that in Japan they're doing something where they're doing, how fast are they going? They're doing like 10 or 100 times.
Yeah, no. South Korea is starting to bring up their 10 gigabit per second connection.
10 gigabits per second, up and down. Wow.
Yep, in South Korea.
Wow.
See, that's what happens when a country actually invests in infrastructure and technology. Is you get nationwide 10 gigabit per second, or at least in major cities 10 gigabit per second connection.
Yeah. Okay.
Instead of struggling and saying, oh yeah, no, the Supreme Court ruled that everyone should have at least 10 megabits per second.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm.
And then other countries get 10 gigabits per second.
Gigabits per second. Yeah.
It feels like we're falling behind a little bit.
In Korea, they are really technologically advanced. You wouldn't think that, but they are, and they get all these.
Maybe you wouldn't think that.
Well, you think, oh, it's a backwards country, but it's.
No, what? They are the home of of esports.
That's true. That's true. They've
been playing esports since like '98. Their technology is vastly superior to ours.
Yep.
Now, again, South Korea, North Korea,
That's a different story. That's communist. Yeah, exactly.
not so much.
Okay. All right. Well, we're going to continue on. Do we have time? We'll start the story. Probably won't be able to finish it again from Maximum PC, Paul Lilly. NVIDIA rolls out 2, not 1, but 2 Shield bundles for Black Friday. Okay. So if you happen to be in the market for a Shield in either handheld, portable, or tablet form, or looking otherwise for gift ideas this holiday season, hold your horses for just a few more days and you'll score a better deal. Like many, NVIDIA is participating in the Black Friday festivities, and it's doing it with a couple of bundle options for the aforementioned mobile gaming devices, both of which will come with a few extra incentives. This Friday, you can buy the 32GB Shield tablet with LTE capabilities for $399 and receive a free Shield controller, Green Box bundle, and NVIDIA Grid on-demand gaming service. Included in the Green Box bundle is Half-Life 2, Portal, and Half-Life 2 Episode 1, which is the first time the latter has been available on mobile. While that's the same price as the 32GB Shield tablet with LTE normally sells for, the extras bump up the total value to $488. And as for the handheld Shield device, it too will sell for its regular price of $199, but will come with a carrying case and glossy black armor, and of course NVIDIA's Grid on-demand gaming service. All combined, that's a $258 value for $199. That's not a bad score with the Grid service, which is free for Shield owners until June 30th, 2015. Grid's on-demand game library is worth over $400, includes nearly 24 titles, including Batman, Arkham City, Borderlands 1+2, Lego Batman 2, The Witcher 2, Assassins of Kings, and more. NVIDIA's Black Friday promotion runs on November 28th from 12:01 a.m. Pacific Standard Time to 11:59 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, or while supplies last. And for more Black Friday deals, be sure to bookmark and check out the regularly updated Black Friday deals 2014 roundup at Maximum PC. They have a really good one. They got some really great TV deals. We talked about some of them last night, and more of them are appearing. I mean, if you're going to buy a TV and you're looking to buy a TV, certainly Black Friday seems to be the day to do it. You know.
For sure.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Before we go back to the news, let me just mention that our Computer America contests are up in full swing. If you go to our just under the Interact pull-down menu at computeramerica.com, it says Enter Contests, and there you'll see all our different contests. Our Logitech contest is almost over. Okay, it finishes Friday, December the 5th. We have 3 great prizes. Third place prize is the Logitech HD Webcam C310, valued at $50. The second place prize is the Logitech G400S optical gaming mouse, valued at $60. And the grand prize is the Logitech X300 mobile wireless stereo speaker system. That's valued at $70, and that comes in 4 different colors. So if you win one, you'll get to choose the color that you want. And again, for the first time, you don't have to do any more emails. Right on that same page is the official Computer America contest entry form. You put in your full name, email address, phone, mailing address, city, state, and any comments. And we love comments, by the way. So send us some nice comments in there. Click the submit button. What color is that? That's like a dark brown, it looks like. And you're done. And it just will submit your entry, and you'll be finished. Now, the contest ends Friday, December the 5th at 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Over the weekend, we'll draw the 3 winning names, and then on Monday, December the 8th, on the show, we will announce the 3 big winners. So make sure that you entered that contest, and who knows, you might win something nice. Also, we have our show reminder winner. That's every Friday. You get a chance to win the Logitech T650 rechargeable glass touchpad. Really nice touchpad, valued at $80. Okay. Again, the form is right there. You put your first and last name in there. Put your email address. Click the blue submit button. It'll send you a confirmation email to which you must reply. Okay. We want to make sure that you're a live human being and not a bot. And then once you do that, you're in. And every Monday morning at 9 a.m. you'll have delivered into your email inbox, fresh and piping hot, the show reminder newsletter. That's our official Computer America email newsletter. It's the only publication where you can see who's going to be on the show for the entire week, Monday through Friday. We even post a winning name in there. And every Friday from the list of subscriber names, we draw a winning name to win that Logitech T650 rechargeable glass touchpad. It's a beautiful touchpad, again, with a glass surface, has a nice feel to it, and again, it's wireless. Beautiful system. And some lucky person is going to win that this coming Friday. All right. You're listening to the Computer America Show on the Blog Talk Radio Network, on the Boost Radio Network, on the IRN Radio Network. Ben and I are doing computer and technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. We're going to just pause for a few moments at the top of the hour, and then we'll be right back with some more great stories and another news tips bulletin review from Marty Winston. That's all coming up. Don't go anywhere.
Broadcasting live, it's the only national radio talk show on computers to air every weeknight. Computer America, hosted by national columnist Craig Crossman. The first hour's behind us, but there's still more of tech news, tech talk, and your phone calls. We're being beamed nationwide at ComputerAmerica.com. You got computer problems? Bring them on. You're listening to Computer America. Computers run the world, and we run computers. Call us or send us an email to live@computeramerica.com.
Hello and welcome into Hour 2 of the nation's longest-running, nationally syndicated radio talk show on computers. This is the Computer America Show, and I'm your host, Craig Crossman.
And I am your co-host, Ben.
And Ben and I are continuing to do computer and technology news, brought to you by Slimware Utilities. We had in the first half of the first hour Prosoft Engineering. They can only be with us for half an hour because the scheduled guest from them couldn't evidently had a sore throat and couldn't be on for the full hour, and so we had their marketing manager Jennifer Bell, who did a really good job and bringing the information to you. And again, if you missed any of that, you can always listen to it again. We archive all of our shows at ComputerAmerica.com. Everything you need to know about our show is on our website. It's just that simple. Go to the top of every page has the same pull-down menu. If you go to the one that says Archives and you click that, you'll see all of our archives are available. We have audio archives and we have video archives. The audio archives are available at Blog Talk Radio. The link is right there. You can even get our RSS feed there if you want. And also we have a link to Apple's iTunes. We archive our show on Apple's iTunes. It's available right there. If you click it, it'll open up a web page on your computer that will take you to the Apple iTunes website for Computer America, and you can see everything there. You can see all the shows. They're detailed there. And if you want, you even have the option on that same page to open up your actual iTunes application, and you can view all the shows in your iTunes app. Now, the thing about iTunes is that if you want to subscribe to our radio show archives, you actually have to open the iTunes application to do that. And then what happens there is that if you subscribe to it, it will automatically, every night after the show is open, download the show, and then you can listen to it at your leisure. We know a lot of people listen to the program, while they're during the day. We get emails from people who are exercising who listen to the show. It's just another way of having the show ready for you at any time. You can even have it offloaded to your iPhone, your smartphone device. The iTunes will do all of that for you. So you're in the morning, you're ready to go. You just take your iPhone with you, and the show is already downloaded and ready for you to listen to on your iPhone. So you have that as well. Just another convenience. And of course, the video portion of our show, we have a link there too. We have our own YouTube channel, so you can follow who's going to be on the show. I mean, listen, you can see the show, you can download it, you can watch the program there as well, the archives. So we have all that up on our video archives page at ComputerAmerica.com. So in the meantime, as I said, Ben and I are doing computer and technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities. They're the official optimization software of Computer America. And this next story here
Whoa! How long do you want to hear yourself talk for? You've been talking for like 10 minutes straight.
Oh, you have you're the next. Okay, you do it. You have.
Jeez.
I'm sorry. Go
No,
ahead, Ben.
I was waiting for you to stop, and then you kept going, and then you were going to keep going.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead. The stage. The stage.
God,
The stage is yours.
oof, man. All right then. This next story Craig doesn't have is from Blaster, and the title is "Return to the Park" and first trailer for Jurassic World.
Oh, okay.
We talked about this a little bit last night, but it turns out they couldn't even hold themselves back, and they released the full trailer of Jurassic World, which is the remake of Jurassic Park.
They couldn't wait.
They couldn't wait. So it came out today. Already has about 7 million views on YouTube, and yeah, you can go check it out right now. Would highly recommend it. So it took more than a decade, but the fourth installment in the blockbuster Jurassic Park franchise will finally hit theaters next summer, and it's boasting quite a bit of talent both in front of and behind the camera. Behind the camera, the film marks the first big-budget effort from the director Colin Trevorrow, who gave us the acclaimed time travel comedy Safety Not Guaranteed in 2012. And the story was co-developed by Rick Jaffa and Amanda Silver, a writing team that recently helped revitalize the Planet of the Apes franchise. In front of the camera, the film features 2014 breakout blockbuster star Chris Pratt, as well as Bryce Dallas Howard, Vincent D'Onofrio? D'Onofrio? Okay.
D'Onofrio.
D'Onofrio.
Vincent D'Onofrio.
Vincent D'Onofrio. Craig knows him.
He's a veteran actor. He was in the Full Metal Jacket. I mean, he was just so.
Then he probably plays Professor, the older guy.
The older guy.
So, yeah. So Jake Johnson, Judy Greer, and more. Set and here's the premise of it. Set 22 years after the first Jurassic Park, the film will return us to Isla Nublar, and to what's become a vital, fully functioning, and successful dinosaur theme park, now known as Jurassic World. The trailer begins with it begins with a kind of a park tour as we follow through two awestruck boys and their dinosaur encounter. It looks quite spectacular until we learn that behind the scenes they've been doing some weird stuff. Whereas Chris Pratt says that's probably not a good idea. So from there, the trailer transitions, to good old-fashioned Jurassic Park terror, including a few shots of the creatures, the piano score, and of course, the awesome sound of the Velociraptors that we've all missed so much. So the release date is June 12th, 2015. Mark on your calendars. And yeah, 14 years later, we're getting a new Jurassic Park.
Yeah, you never sent me that story, by the way, in the list. I
didn't. No, I just found it.
Okay.
Because I just saw the new Jurassic World trailer had just come out, so I was like, oh, nice, I gotta go watch that. And I watched it, and it's awesome. So.
Okay, well I'll have to watch it. Okay.
So it's not a direct translation of here's Jurassic Park in 1995, 6, whenever it came out, to Jurassic Park in 2014. It's it's 22 years after the first part came out.
22 years. That's a long time.
22 years after it came out. So it's not saying, okay, the first one didn't happen. It's 22 years after. Here's what a fully functioning, working dinosaur theme park would look like.
Okay.
And then the stuff hits the fan.
Now, is it still an amber? They take it from mosquito, the DNA?
The iconic amber was there. The iconic eggs in the incubator were there. I mean, if you watch the trailer and you've seen the original, you're going to see, little Easter eggs left and right, little dinosaur eggs left and right.
All right. Do they still have that wonderful?
But Craig, you're asking, do they still have? Again, this isn't a reimagining. It's 22 years later. They're still going to have everything the original had. This is still produced by Steven Spielberg.
One of my favorite scenes in Jurassic Park was when the people are being chased by the T-Rex, the Tyrannosaurus Rex, and you see he's watching him in the rear view mirror, and you see in the mirror the text that says, "Objects in the mirror are closer than they appear to be."
Yeah, and then the dinosaur like knocks the thing off. Yeah,
that was a really good scene. It was very funny.
Objects in the mirror are closer than they appear, and then the dinosaur like sideswipes the entire truck with its head. And just yep.
Yeah. Okay. Well, looking forward to it.
But we have to wait 7 months for it.
Okay. Did we now? We kind of teased it, but we did the big show on big story on Google Fiber being in Austin. But this story from BGR says the next city to get Google Fiber may have just been revealed, and we didn't do this yet, did we?
No, we haven't.
Okay. So Google Fiber fans eagerly awaiting the news of the high-speed internet service's next major location may be in luck. Where would you guess you think it's going to be?
Bad question. I read the article, so I know exactly where.
Okay. Well, guess what? If you live in the state of Tennessee, the Knoxville News Sentinel reports that Google Fiber has filed a franchise application with the state of Tennessee, which signals that the company is moving forward with plans for gigabit speed internet in Nashville. Why don't we just take the N off and it'll be Asheville and I'd be happier.
No, not quite. Nashville, Tennessee. 2 hours away from Craig, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, exactly. So Google Fiber intends to begin to offer video services for purchase or provide new broadband internet services, Google wrote in its official filing. Okay. So Google also announced earlier that year that it's contemplating expanding fiber to as many as 9 new major metropolitan areas: Atlanta, Charlotte, Nashville, Phoenix, Portland, Raleigh-Durham, San Antonio, Salt Lake City, and San Jose. All 9 of these metropolitan areas met their deadlines to submit paperwork to Google and have been anxiously awaiting to hear what the next step should be. Boy, isn't that something where you get the state, the city, the government applying to you? Normally you have to apply to the government. They're the state government. They're desperately they brought the mountain to Muhammad rather than the other way around. That's truly an example of that. Yeah.
Like it's weird though. It's like just as one company with one service, and it's just internet service. Like it's not like they're bringing a new manufacturing plant. It's not like they're bringing like, yeah, they're bringing jobs, but not many because they're just putting it in, and then you're just gonna have basic upkeep and maintenance. Yeah. But I mean, but like they're not bringing a plant. They're not bringing anything permanent, really. Like an incredible amount of jobs, and yet the housing prices go up, the business prices go up. Like the economy goes up just if Google Fiber comes to your area.
Okay. So does it? I mean, what surprises me is that they're not. You would think they would bring it to New York City, but they don't mention New York at all.
Maybe it's especially in New York City. They have a lot of. It seems like New York City is very high in regulation because it's so it's so belabored with current industry. And I know that sounded kind of weird, but like they have like the stock market there. They have many businesses there, who are entrenched, and there's probably regulation after regulation. They're looking for places that are popular, have high population, and and can benefit from something like this, and yet have minimal red tape. Because Google doesn't want to have a legal battle for 15 years trying to get into New York City. What? They just want to put their service out and have people using it, the next year.
And they want to be welcome. They don't want to have to do any fights.
Exactly. And you don't get the feeling that New York would be like, whoa, slow down, Google. Here's 10 years worth of applications and regulations, and we'll see you in a decade.
Well, I guess that's not going to fly, obviously. Well, according to the story, now with the official franchise filing in Tennessee, it seems that we know at least one area where Google will bring fiber to a whole new batch of customers. We're not sure if Google has filed franchise agreements with other states yet, but we'll definitely be on the lookout for more in the coming days. This is according to BGR. So far, Google has committed to bringing Google Fiber to 3 markets in the U.S. That's Kansas City, Austin, Texas, and Provo, Utah. Any places where Google has announced its intention to build Google Fiber has seen incumbent ISPs magically vow to increase their own network speeds or boost their current user speeds tiers. That's what we were talking about earlier. In fact, if you look at how AT&T and Time Warner Cable have been quickly trying to boost their offerings in Austin, you might even think that there's some competition in the home broadband market in that city.
That was very tongue-in-cheek sarcasm there.
Yeah, and you were right. Yeah. So, anyway, looks like Nashville might be the next big place, city where you're going to see Google Fiber up here.
But again, Google doesn't want to be in the internet business. They have so many pet projects. That's not they're not making their money off of Google Fiber. They're not making their money off self-driving cars. They're pet projects, but they want people to have fast internet so that they use the internet more, so Google can serve up more ads and make more money.
Yeah.
It just stinks. Why do all these areas have to wait until Google says they're coming before everyone else says, oh yeah, wait, we can do that too.
Mm-hmm.
I wish they just say that up front.
Yeah, but they're not.
No, they're not. They're waiting.
Okay.
They'd rather provide you with an inferior product and kind of take your money.
Yes.
Next one. Craig, you might like this one. This one from Time Tech, and it's kind of a weird one, not really technology, but You can now buy actual Star Trek Klingon blood wine.
I have a bottle. Someone gave it to me years ago, a bottle of blood wine.
Okay, well, it's a drink best served chilled, just like Revenge. Today is a good day to dine, Star Trek fans. You can now buy bottles of Klingon blood wine. While actual Klingon blood wine was pretty much deadly to humans, this new blood wine is perfectly drinkable blend of Malbec, Syrah, and Petit Verdot. Shipping not from the Klingon homeworld, but from Paso Robles County.
Paso Robles.
Paso Robles County, California. Invariably, it's like, oh, it's wine. It's probably going to be fancy. Ben, you're going to mess this up. Paso Robles. It's good. It's also meant to be served a bit chilled, while the real stuff was meant to be delivered hot as a Klingon's temper. Mm-hmm. The blood wine has the CBS stamp of approval, so it's an official Star Trek product. The bottle's label sports a Klingon's bat'leth sword and the phrase, "Celebrate, tomorrow we may die." But hopefully not. Want to get your hands on some Klingon blood wine? Set course for Vinport, where you'll find bottles on sale for $20 starting today.
Yeah, exactly. And I went to the website there at Vinport. Star Trek. Flat rate shipping of $20 or free shipping on orders of 6 bottles or more. And there it is, Star Trek blood wine. Actually, they have the Star Trek Collector's Case, which is 12 bottles of 3 of each Star Trek wine starting at $239.88. They have a Star Trek sampler, okay? And, of course, the Klingon blood wine 6-pack, where you can buy 1 bottle for $19.99. They have Mirror Mirror. That was from one of the Star Trek episodes. The Trouble with Tribbles, that's another one, wine. And The City on the Edge of Forever, which is considered to be, even today, considered to be the best Star Trek episode that they ever produced. It was actually written by Harlan Ellison, a science fiction writer. Did you ever see The City on the Edge of Forever?
Not coming to mind, but I've seen the entire series, so.
Yeah, it's still considered to be one of the finest original Star Trek episodes ever done, and I would tend to agree with them. It was
like Mirror Mirror comes to mind because hey, Spock got a goatee. Who could forget that? Yeah. And then Trouble with Tribbles, because Tribbles are amazing. It's just the City on the Edge of Tomorrow or Forever is like it's not coming to mind.
It was they go to this planet and there's a giant portal that's sitting there, which was and they go into the portal and it takes them in time and presents them with an alternative reality.
Oh yeah.
And they come back. Someone jumps to and then when they want to be beamed up and the whole Federation is gone, and it's this and they got to go back and figure out what somebody did back in time whatever they did to that eliminated basically the Third Reich wins, and they come to power because of what happens. They get one of the elaborate super weapons, from Star Trek, and it changes the course of history. And so they have to go back in time, and someone dies. Joan Collins has to actually die. The character dies in order for him to put everything right. And of course, Kirk is just totally beside himself because it happened, because he fell in love with her. And it's a great episode. You should go. If you haven't seen it, you see it. It was well done. But anyway,
the whole 86 episode series, go watch it. You'll enjoy it.
Yeah, it is. They're all classics. They really are.
87 if you count the two-parters as one or two.
Yeah. What is the other one that they had that it was an excellent episode on racism? It was indirect. They talked about racism because there was a race, and then one was their faces were split right down the middle, black and white, and it turns out that they don't understand why they're talking. One guy's talking about, well, they're like this. It turns out that they're white on the left side as opposed to white on the right side, and that's how they, And Kirk hears that he kind of just shrugs his shoulders. What does that have? And it was just an interesting story. Talking about races back in the 60s when they did this. There's some really good episodes. All right, that BlackBerry that I liked is back in the news again.
BlackBerry Passport.
It's square. And BlackBerry is offering up to $550 to you if you ditch your iPhone for a passport. Really? Yep, exactly. It says, if the industry based its grade solely on effort, then there's no doubt BlackBerry would be among the first top spots. Now, whether or not those efforts are actually effective, well, that's a completely different story. Since its notable decline, BlackBerry has had to get creative to try and bring customers it lost, namely to other competitors in the mobile space like Google and Apple. With that in mind, BlackBerry has introduced the Trade Up program, which it intends to use to convince iPhone users to trade in their device for its flagship smartphone, the Passport. In exchange, iPhone 4S, 5C, 5S, and 6 owners can get up to $550 plus a BlackBerry Passport. If qualified, payments will be then made via Visa prepaid card. The offer, which is only available in the U.S. and Canada, runs December 1st to February the 13th of next year. And it's a solid option for those interested in that trademark physical keyboard and the square-shaped display. Best Buy, for instance, pays about $460 for an iPhone 6 with 128 gigs of storage, but that trade-in doesn't include a smartphone as part of the deal. So they're in it. So if you're intrigued by this, you want to check out the terms and conditions over at the BlackBerry website. But it's a square phone. It's square, but it has an actual physical keyboard on it.
I think the appeal to it is that it mimics the screen resolution of a traditional monitor. So, like if you're viewing documents, or if you're away from your computer and you need to open up like an Excel spreadsheet or something like that, it opens up pretty much natively. Like it's not altered or a mobile version or anything like that.
Yep.
So it makes it easier to make adjustments on the fly, which in the business world, crucial.
Yeah. But it's got a little QWERTY keyboard on the bottom, an actual tactile one, and then of course there's the virtual keyboard that's part of the screen. They're showing a picture of it, but that's actually part of the screen. It's a square screen.
I mean, like the square feature and the physical keyboard, novel if not kooky for like just your recreational smartphone user, but for a business person, they would probably find a lot of value in that.
Yeah.
Again, it's a niche phone, not for everyone, but it's, hey, that's what made them famous.
Yep. Okay. And it looks cool. Something you might want to consider, especially it's a great deal. I mean, you get and $550 and the phone.
Yeah, for sure. All right, this next story, and for everyone out there who took the plunge and really bit the bullet and invested in that Chromecast. It was a steep investment at $35, but I think it might have just paid off a little bit more today.
Mhm.
So this one from Tech Hive, and the Chromecast snags Nickelodeon, Sesame Street, Comedy Central, and more.
Wow.
Yeah, so Google is adding some big names to the Chromecast roster just in time for Thanksgiving. On Tuesday, today, 7 new apps embrace Google's $35 streaming media stick, and almost all of them are from big-name media companies. Viacom is adding Chromecast support to both Comedy Central and Nickelodeon apps, and Sesame Street Go, because, Sesame Street, you
Yeah.
need it. Sesame's Workshop subscription service is also now casting. TuneIn Radio, with its selection of podcasts and radio streaming, we should probably be on that,
Yeah.
now supports Chromecast, as does Encore Play, Epix, and Yup TV, TV for Yuppies, a live streaming app for TV from India. Oh, there you go. The story behind the story, Chromecast streaming options keep on growing. Earlier in November, Showtime signed up, and now we're seeing apps for 2 major Viacom properties and other popular media outlets. It's amazing to see how willing media companies are to jump on the Chromecast bandwagon. The author says that we've come a long way from the days when media companies gave Google TV the cold shoulder. And cable details, although it's nice to see more apps adding Chromecast, not all these services are created equally. If you're paying the $30 a year and you live in the US or Canada, Sesame Go will work for you. Epix is also a subscription service available only to US residents. The Comedy Central app is pretty wide open to the US consumers. However, some shows do require a TV provider login. And on the same note, Nickelodeon Nick app requires a cable subscription to a larger selection of full episodes. Starz Encore also requires a cable subscription as well. The new Chromecast apps are great for adding content to your big screen in the living room, but many of these apps will only be of limited use to cord cutters. So, like they said, a lot of these apps, if you already have, one of the cable providers, you will have full access to them through your Chromecast. But most people who have a Chromecast, they're attempting to be cord cutters. They don't have subscription to cable. So these apps are, like the author said, of limited value. But I mean, if more and more stations come out with apps like these, and they're willing to pay, for what they want to watch, and so you don't have to get roped in for the $20 a month, $40 a month, $80, $100 a month, however bucks a month Craig is paying for TV. You don't have to pay that astronomical number, and you can just kind of say, all right, I'll pay $3 for that app, $5 for this app, $2 for this app, and $8 for this app, and I'm good to go. In the end, you're going to come out cheaper, and it's all going to be on demand, which is the dream.
Yeah, it is. And I don't like Chromecast is making it happen. And I've had Chromecast almost from the day one that it became available, and it's a great little device, and I use it from time to time. I watch most all of my Netflix movies now. I watch on the big screen TV. I cast it over to the big TV now, and once in a while I'll watch something on the computer screen just because I'm there. I'm too lazy to walk over to the TV to sit down and watch it. But for the most part, I do cast it. And there's that related story, but you kind of covered it, that TuneIn is bringing over 100,000 radio stations to your Chromecast. Do you want to?
Yeah, kind of covered it.
Kind of covered that too. So there it is. So if you haven't gotten a Chromecast yet, it's $35. Not even more reason why. A lot of the shows that you like to watch, by the way, I know are on Comedy Central. Are they not, Ben? Yeah.
I like a lot of their lineup.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm a one-trick pony, but I like a lot. I like a lot of what they offer.
Yeah. I know when they get the Cartoon Network on, I bet you then they'll go over it, because I know a lot of the shows.
Not just Cartoon Network. It's
No?
more of the Adult Swim. It's the after the kids go to bed. It's the adult programming.
Yeah, I know exactly.
Not the cue and the cheesy music adult programming, but the more grown up.
Yeah, it is.
That kind of stuff.
It's extremely grown up. Let me tell you that.
It's weird, but I like it.
Exactly. Let me see if we can start this next story from Engadget. It's entitled Firefox will let you search specific websites now with one click. This is something new. Mozilla isn't just rethinking its choice of default search engines in Firefox, it's overhauling the search bar itself. An upcoming version of Firefox will let you search a specific site with one click. If you want to find an ancient Twitter update or scour Wikipedia, you won't have to wait until you get the search results to take action. The update will actually let you add other sites too, such as your favorite restaurant recommendation page. You can argue that Firefox is catching up to Chrome, which lets you type the site you mean to search, but it's hard to object to anything that helps you get to what you wanted a little bit sooner. So I'm using both browsers. I'm using Chrome and I use Firefox now. And I especially use one of the features I love in Chrome that you still can't get in Firefox is that if one of those pages that you've opened 10 pages at once is playing audio, it will show you in the tab a little speaker so you know which one is playing the audio. I've not seen that in any other browser except Chrome. You listen to the Computer America Show. We got a new news tips bulletin review from Marty Winston coming up. And we'll continue to do computer and technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities. Stay with us. Looking for a best friend? Brother Wolf Animal Rescue has your best friend waiting just for you. The mission is to protect and enhance the lives of companion animals and the people who love them. Their no-kill rescue shelter is open year-round, making it easy for people to adopt their best new friend. This year, Brother Wolf will find homes for over 2,400 orphan dogs, puppies, cats, and kittens. All have ended up as an orphan through no fault of their own. Brother Wolf has created a safe, nurturing environment where these special animals can heal emotionally and physically until they find a lifelong home. Their life-saving transport program brings dogs and puppies from overcrowded shelters in the south to rescues in the north where homes are easier to find. Brother Wolf Animal Rescue is a 501c3 organization. To learn more about their life-saving work and to make a donation, visit their website at www.bwar.org. That's www.bwar.org. Help to realize Brother Wolf's vision when no animal is euthanized for lack of a home.
Who's a good boy?
Don't complain about your cable bill going up and up and up. Do something about it. Grab a pencil and jot down this special number. 1-866-663-MY-TV. The more cable TV rates go up, the better digital satellite TV looks. So, disable the cable and get more of your favorite channels in 100% digital quality for less money. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV right now to sign up for packages starting as low as $19.99 and up to 4 rooms. And there's no equipment to buy. That includes your free HD TV upgrade, your free DVR upgrade, and your free professional installation. And the best part, the pristine digital picture and sound. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. So, what are you waiting for? Pull out your major credit or debit card. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. 1-866-663-MY-TV. Disable the cable. Cut costs and get more. Call 1-866-663-MY-TV. 1-866-663-MY-TV.
Pay attention now. This is Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America. This time, the Marley Liberate BT. The Marley Liberate BT is the best balanced, best detailed small speaker we've heard in a very long time. We spent an extended amount of time listening to a variety of known performances with no failures anywhere in allowing us to hear every voice, every instrument, and every detail. The sound quality was nicely even across the acoustic spectrum with no artificially enhanced bottom thump or top hiss. That's an amazing accomplishment for a wedge housing just 4 1.5-inch drivers. That's all that's in there. Its lithium-ion battery is rated 8 hours of playtime. We also offer a nod to Marley for their use of recycled and reclaimed materials in its construction. Bottom line, the Marley Liberate Bluetooth speaker will spoil your ears. This is Marty Winston with a News Tips Bulletin Review for Computer America.
Welcome back to the Computer America Show.
Where were you?
I don't know. Welcome back to the Computer America Show. Marty Winston, thank you very much for that News Tips Bulletin Review. Craig and I are doing Computer and Technology News. We are sorry that the interview, we should do like the hour interview followed by the hour of news. Sorry about that. Jennifer did a great job.
She did.
But in the very condensed time, but she had to run. So we're doing an hour and a half of Computer Technology News, which is perfectly fine because we have a lot of great stories.
We do. I like the fact that one I just finished, the Firefox will let you search specific websites with one click. I know you've been doing that on Chrome, but evidently they're adding that feature. It's interesting because you see new features, and are they really new, or were they just looking at see what the other browser did and said, hey, that's a cool feature, let's add that to our browser?
But I mean, like.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just doesn't feel like that. If something works and people like it and people like how it works, I mean, it's just like with computer games. You shouldn't be, it shouldn't be. Hey, these guys came up with it first, so they're the only ones that can do it.
That's right.
It probably, especially with technology, it just doesn't grow that way.
Look at tab browsing. I don't. Who introduced tab browsing first? Was it Mozilla, Firefox? I think it was.
I thought it was Opera.
Who? Opera.
Opera.
Opera, man. I mean, but not everybody has tab browser. I can't imagine using a browser that doesn't have tabs. Can you? I mean,
yeah, I remember doing it, and I had 20 windows open.
It was terrible. You had 20 windows open, and tabs make browsing. It was interesting for a while. I would talk to people and say, "Oh, I don't like tabs. I liked having all the windows." And it's just desktop space is I don't care how big a screen you have.
It's at a premium.
It's premium. Yeah, it's at a premium. And so I can have one window that has 10 or 15 different screens in it, with tabs. It's a wonderful thing, and I'm so glad that all the browsers now offer tabbed browsing. And so, and I don't think if a company would copyright that or say it's intellectual privilege. I'm glad that we're seeing all these great features appear on one another. As I said, for example, the one that Chrome still has that I have not seen in any other browser is that if one of those tabs, the web page that you're looking at is starting to play audio, music, a video of some sort, and you have like 15 tabs, and you don't know which one is playing the audio, it can be quite upsetting. So Chrome will actually display a little speaker in the tab denoting that tab is playing audio or more, and it's the only one I've ever seen do that. And it's wonderful because several times I've opened up, 15, 20 tabs, and all of a sudden I hear audio coming from something, and where the heck is that? And so the moment Ben pointed that out to me, I didn't even know that it had it. So that was nice. So I use.
But I mean, like it's these little features, and I mean, it could be that little feature that draws you into it, but I think at the end of the day, it should be you're loyal to the brand, whichever ecosystem you choose, or whatever. That should be a bigger determining factor than, hey, these guys thought of tabs first, so they're the only ones that get to use it. No, let the ease of technology spread, but it should never be copyrighted. It just kind of inhibits the growth of browsers.
Yeah, and I agree with you completely.
And technology in general.
Yeah, I think it does. Anyway, Firefox is offering this, will let you offer specific website searches with just one click, and so that's kind of nice. So, interesting story.
All right. This next story, as soon as I pick it out, is I really didn't pick it out. How about this one from about war?
War?
What's it good for?
Good God, yo.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely nothing. Say it again.
I know. All right. So this one about war. This one actually from Popular Science, and they have a lot of the cutting edge, stuff that you may not see in your home, but it exists. Don't get me wrong, it exists.
This is an interesting story. It's a ship with the world's largest laser pointer.
Yeah, it's I mean, in the simplest terms, it really is the world's largest, most dangerous laser pointer. So, again, Popular Science. The title of the article: America's laser gun goes to war. Peeking out on the prow of the Ponce, pew pew pew, Ponce, pew pew pew. Right now, the U.S. Navy has a warship with a laser gun patrolling the Persian Gulf. The USS Ponce is an old ship that first saw service in an amphibious as an amphibious transport in the 1970s, designed to carry troops, vehicles, and helicopters close to beaches. Saved from a scrapyard, the U.S. Navy strapped a laser to its back and sent it forward, turning it into a Cold War testing the waters of the future.
Cold Warrior, yes, exactly.
Cold Warrior, not Cold War. Cold Warrior, testing the waters of the future. Last week, the Navy released a photo taken in September of the USS Ponce traversing the Arabian Sea. On top of the ship, above the bridge and below the radar, sits the Laser Weapon System, or the LAWS, L-A-W-S.
It's very cool.
So it's an acronym that somehow makes an actual working military laser gun sound about as exciting as Government 101 homework assignment. But there it is, a laser ready for combat. And in the actual article, they have the photo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looks very cool. I don't know how effective it is, but it certainly looks cool. Yeah.
So and just give an idea of what it looks like. If you've ever seen, maybe not hobbyist telescope, maybe like a little bit bigger, but think of a telescope, but it's just a big long white cylindrical tube mounted on a very computerized rotating base. So it's I would think a cannon would look more intimidating than this thing, but again, this is a laser. So while the laser weapon in fiction called to mind tremendous destructive powers, ranging from merely deadly blaster pistols to world-ending Death Star beams, the Ponce's laser is a defensive weapon. Its primary targets will be small drones and small boats, and given enough time and enough power, the laser should burn through both easily. Previously tested on the USS Dewey, here's what it looked like when a ship lasers a drone. And I've actually seen that video, and at first it starts out like there's like a little laser beam kind of pointing on the drone, and then given about probably about 20 seconds from when the laser first spots it, it just combusts into flames. There's just so much energy and so much heat being generated. Whatever the laser focuses on, I mean, it bursts into flame.
Yeah,
So
I'm looking at it right now. They just hit it and it burst into flame. They shot it down with a laser.
Yeah, so that's the point of the laser defense system. It's not meant to strapped on top of a boat and then they're going to go shoot lasers at everyone and it's the future. No, it's to. I think it's actually a bit too slow to intercept missiles. But as for drones trying to spy on you, or unmanned boats that are just kind of hovering off the side, it would take care of those in a flash.
Yeah. And again, I'm watching the video. It's actually they're showing the ship actually firing the laser at it, and the laser beam is almost invisible. You actually don't see it really.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's a very concentrated beam of light, so it's if you were to see it, then it'd be giving off light and it's not focused.
Yeah. Well, either that or maybe at nighttime you'll be able to see it quicker, but it's a real burst. They hit it once and it's done. That's the whole idea behind it. And evidently it's practical enough that they're going to use it in warfare just for the reasons that they said on smaller.
For defense.
Yeah, for defense. Yeah, exactly.
We're not going to be taking countries over using lasers anytime soon.
Oh no, really?
Yeah. So no laser blasters, no, none of that kind of stuff.
Okay, well, here's an interesting story. I know Jonathan in the chat room will love this one. It's from Wired Magazine. The only way to save Google Glass, is to kill it. Did you know that Google Glass still exists? The article asks. Yes. The gadget that launched 1,000 think pieces hasn't disappeared, though the absence of hand-wringing about, say, glass privacy implications suggests a worse fate than bad publicity. No one is going to worry about a product if no one is wearing it. Now, to be fair, we in the media are still paying a certain kind of attention to glass, much as the National Enquirer pays attention to aging celebrities who may not be long for this world. A recent Reuters piece catalogs the many ways developers are defecting from glass, to which we say, stick a fork in glass already, Google, it's done. At least glass appears to be done as a mass market gadget for consumers. Yes, glass is still in beta, which means glass partisans could argue consumers haven't had the chance to embrace it, but if the pent-up consumer demand was really there, why isn't Google rushing to meet it? The reality is that Google isn't a hardware company. Its misadventure with Motorola shows that Google makes money. What Google does know is software. Android is the world's leading mobile operating system, not because Google makes a great phone that everyone uses, but because the company let other phone makers use it. And Google could do the same with wearable operating systems it's developed for glass. So why not license it out and get out of the hardware business altogether? Asked one of the researchers. This gentleman named Grounder. Gounder himself believes it's too early to sound the death knell for glass as a consumer product, although he does say that Google has a tough job ahead if it hopes to get consumers to embrace something so unfamiliar. People don't know what to do with these devices, he says. Apple, meanwhile, has a powerful channel for introducing the gadget-consuming public to new products in the form of its stores. If people are skeptical of what an Apple Watch can do, for instance, they'll be able to go into an Apple store and try one on. Not so with Google, which has reportedly even closed the few physical locations it had set up as an introduction to introduce people to glass. Gounder is convinced that glass and other heads-up displays have a strong future in the world of work, where everyone from surgeons to petroleum engineers will find them incredibly useful for specific tasks. As a general-purpose device, however, a kind of smartphone for the face, the advantages aren't so clear. Okay, at least not for the asking price of $1,500. The price of a nice Mac laptop is just going to be too high to take a chance on a gadget that may or may not be useful. But even as the eulogies for glass rolls on, one of China's biggest mobile phone makers appears to be jumping in with glasses of its own. And if rumors are true, Huawei's Honor smart glasses look like a chunkier version of Google Glass and will have cost less, much, much less. So basically, the article goes on says for wearable hardware to succeed, Google doesn't need to make its own glasses. It just needs everyone else to see the world through its eyes. So there it is. It had such promise too, Google Glass. You know.
I think the idea had promise.
Yeah.
But at $1,500, and again, this is one of Google's pet projects. If Google Glass goes under, Google is going to be fine. It's not a problem. The only one who are kind of missing out are is anyone who spent $1,500, and even then, you are one of the select few that has this piece of technology.
Maybe
because they weren't mass produced. They were you had to order them.
Maybe 30 years from now, you can sell your Google Glass on Sotheby's for $100,000.
You never know.
Yeah.
I mean, I bet you people threw out their Apple once and thought, this piece of crap? What are you talking about? There's a better thing, a year later. This has twice the memory. This thing's crap.
Yep. If they kept it in pristine condition, they're selling for almost like $1 million.
Google Glass could be the same way. It could have been the pioneer for a new type of technology that in 20 years, we're all using.
Yeah.
You never know. All right, so I really want to get the story in. This one is a Pew Research, and I love it when these things come out because they tell us so much about something we knew we didn't care about. Mm-hmm. So this one from Popular Science: Americans don't know a lot about the internet history or policy, but they know a lot about social media, and we hope that our listeners do not fall in that category. So think you know about your GIFs from your Gophers. Well, I'm sure the author meant GIFs from Gophers, but it's GIF, as everyone knows. Your IMAP from your bitmap, your hashtags from your hash browns. In September, the Pew Research Center polled 1,066 American adults on their knowledge of technology and the internet, with some surprising results. And and of course, in the article here, you can take it yourself. But the quiz, part of the Pew Research Center series on the 25th anniversary of the web, contains questions ranging from those of a technical nature, such as what does URL stand for, to those of a more cultural bent, like seeing if you identify this picture of a major tech figure. Around half of those polled answered 5 to 7 of the 12 questions correctly. Most knew that Twitter was limited to 140 characters, that PDFs could be sent via email, and that a megabyte was bigger than a kilobyte. Although that's just, wow, I'm an idiot. Metrics, whatever. The metric system. But just 23% knew that the Internet and the World Wide Web are two different entities, and only 9% were able to identify the first popular graphical web browser. Alas, poor Mosaic. Moreover, 21% were able to identify a picture of Facebook Chief Operating Officer Sheryl Sandberg, compared to the 83% who could pick out Bill Gates. Granted, while Sandberg is well known, Gates is the richest man in the world. It also didn't help that they picked an off-angle picture of Sandberg that was harder to identify. Also, let's face it, Gates does a lot of charity work, and his picture is everywhere.
Yeah.
So, unsurprising, the younger survey participants scored better than their elders on social media in common knowledge and common internet conventions. College graduates tended to do better overall, as Pew admits they do on most knowledge-based quizzes. Perhaps most distressing was poor performance across the board in matters of policy. More than half of those surveyed said that posting a privacy policy means a company will keep its users' information confidential, and just 61% were able to correctly identify what net neutrality refers to. Our listeners better not have taken this survey. We've taught you this, folks.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem to bode particularly well for matters that are likely to be hot-button issues in the immediate future of the Internet. But at least people know what a hashtag is.
Yes, hashtag this. Well, that's thanks to
Twitter.
Jimmy Fallon. He does hashtag.
That's not thanks to. It's thanks to Twitter. Jesus. Okay, whatever. Anyways, no, but yeah, they said that more than half of those surveyed said that posting a privacy policy means a company will keep its user information confidential. And what that is referring to is total bumpkiss. It was a troll. I don't even know how it got out. There was this thing going around that said, hey, if you copy and paste this to your Facebook feed, to your Twitter feed, to your whatever feed, the company has to abide by it. And it was like this long copy pasta stuff or copy paste that was, it's like, I hereby do not allow, Facebook to use my photos or anything like that. And like it's legal sounding jargon, but when you just post it in your feed or in a status update, Facebook doesn't have to agree to that. They don't agree to that, and they never had. And yet people thought it protected them from, their Facebook overlords, which was just silly. So it seems like people, they really aren't getting the Internet and policy and the history of the Internet. So, which I guess isn't that bad. I mean, the history is only, or the Internet's only like technology in general is really only like 40 years old. So.
Well, you mean
technology is thousands of years old. Computers are only 40 years old.
Digital technology that we're using, exactly.
So I mean, like it's not much to catch up on.
Yeah. Well, do we have time for one more story?
One more.
Okay. This from Engadget. Evidently, neither Spotify nor musicians are making much money from streaming. This is the old thing, but yes. Spotify may be the big name when it comes to music streaming, but the company is hardly rolling in the money, in money. They're not. The private company disclosed today that it took in 747 million euros, that's about 1.3 billion at the time, in 2013, up about 74% from 2012. However, shelling out a good portion of that to record companies and publishers led to net losses of 80 million for the year. Oh my gosh. A near 70% cut that takes the majority of the service's revenue. The numbers reveal that Spotify isn't quite lining its pocket with cash. In fact, more folks opt for the free option instead of paying a monthly fee. Only 8 million of the 36 million active listeners at the end of last year were opening their wallets. Some quick math shows that to be a little less than a quarter of the total user base. In the financial statement, Spotify said 91% of their sales are from subscriptions, with an additional 90 million coming from ads. If the same 70% cut heads to licensing fees for both, the free listeners are obviously earning labels and, in turn, artists much less. It's quite easy to see why acts like Taylor Swift and others are upset that the service isn't paying what they think it should, especially for the non-paying customers. And, of course, YouTube's recent effort and the pending integration of Beats Music into Apple's music plans could make the uphill climb even a bit more steep. So they're not rolling in dough.
And yet, should they be?
Well, they're the delivery medium. They're not the talent. They're just delivering the songs. You know, it's like radio, broadcast radio, playing the biggest hits, or something. They pay ASCAP. They pay the money to ASCAP to play them. Most of the artists.
But I mean, like the model of yesteryear was you got on radio stations, they played your hit single, they played it for ever and ever and ever, and really there was no other way to go get that song unless you went into a record store, bought the record, bought the CD, what have you. Nowadays, you can listen to it whenever. Go online, type into Google, and it'll pop right up. I mean, no one is buying music anymore. So, I think these artists have to realize that when they let companies stream their music, or when they put it up on YouTube, or when they, put it up on Pandora, or whatever music service they use, they have to realize that they're doing it for exposure. They're not doing it to make money. They have to make money some other way, and whether that be selling tickets to a concert, whether that be selling merchandise, whether that be,
the music is almost
doing something else.
The music is almost incidental. They're not. I mean, in the olden days, when in the 50s and 60s and 70s, even the 80s. I mean, when you wanted to buy, you heard a song, you really liked it, you went and bought the record, or you bought the CD, you bought the tape, you bought the cassette tape. I mean, that's what you had to do. If you wanted to hear the song again, you had to go out and buy the physical media. But the digital delivery of music has changed the landscape of the music industry. It's no longer the same. I mean, and as much as they try digital rights management and doing all these things to prevent it, quite frankly, I mean, you can go on.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work. People are determined to get a song. They want to hear it. They're going to get it. And they can crack down as much as they can. But I think the genie's out of the bottle. And iTunes sort of did that. And so if you're a famous artist, you make your money now at concerts that you perform in, physical merchandise, and that's it. The musicians don't make the money from the music anymore. Really, it's a changed world. Yeah. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, there's you can't have a front without a back. I mean, the fact is that it's so convenient now. You can just, if you want to hear the music, you can just download it. You don't have to go to a record store. You don't have to go out. You can get it. You have it on your computer. You can play it on your smartphone. I mean, that's but the price we pay for that is that artists don't get the compensation like they used to.
And yet, at the same time, it leaves the door open for smaller artists. Not everyone was able to get their hit single out on the radio. So now you can Google and you can search for new artists, and people could put their music up on iTunes, on Bandcamp, on whatever, and have people just pay $5 for an entire album, and they can make a little bit of money off of their own album. Like, it opens the door for more musicians, but I think like the big sellers, they're not making money the way they used to.
Yep, that's right, and they're miffed about it, but that's the way they used to make a living. But
just like the TV industry is with digital media, just like
the movie industry,
movies, books, everything's changing.
Yeah.
Growing pains.
Yeah, growing pains, and new laws will have to be put into place, and new things, and even people who bought the CDs, most of them just rip them now and they put them on the computer.
Oh yeah, no, they don't even need the physical medium anymore.
Exactly. Well, there you go. That's the world that we live in. Okay. I mean, but I think that's pretty much. I think we're pretty much out of time. We can't do any more stories. I think we're finished. Again, I want to thank.
No more.
I want
90 seconds.
I want to thank Prosoft Engineering Jennifer Bell, who did a really terrific job here on the program, and thanks to her for talking about Data Rescue 4. If tomorrow night, it's going to be our last show of the week because, of course, Thanksgiving holiday is Thursday and Friday. We're going to take this off. So in the first hour of tomorrow's show, we're going to talk about 3D printing. We're going to have Poyo 3D.
60 seconds.
We're going to have one of the co-founders of Poyo 3D, Mr. Thomas Zelenka, talking about their new 3D printers at home. And these are it's a very cool 3D printer. And we're going to be talking to him about 3D printing and 3D printing in general. And then in the second hour, of course, we'll have more computer and technology news brought to you by Slimware Utilities, the official optimization software of Computer America. Wow. The show kind of flew by.
It did, oddly enough.
Yeah.
And only one more until we take a break.
Yeah. So that wraps it up. Thank you all so much for joining us. And Ben and I will see you tomorrow night. So until tomorrow night, this is Craig Crossman hoping that your hard disk never becomes floppy. We'll see you tomorrow
10
night.
seconds.
Good night, everyone.
Thank you for using Blog Talk Radio. Goodbye.
And thanks to all our viewers out there watching us on our behind-the-scenes video. Thanks so much for joining us, and Ben and I will see you tomorrow night. So say good night, Ben.
Good night, Ben.